Hey guys, Paul McClain here, Family First Life West Coast. I wanted to come to you real quick and talk about the two things that matter most, the two things that will undoubtedly lead you to a higher close ratio. What does that mean for you? Well, if you're closing 20% more of the families you're sitting with, you're helping more people. And also you might be making an extra $2,000, $3,000 a week in income if you can increase that close ratio. So over the past 10 years, this is the stuff that's led me to be a top 10 producer for 10 straight years. And also as I take a look and interview a lot of the top producers we've got across the country, these are the things that they're doing well. Now, what you don't want to do, what's a big miss? What do agents mess up on? They feel like they're doing everything right. They're saying the right things in the home. How are they not closing the way they should be closing? Well, typically they're staying surface in things that need to have depth to it. And what I mean is this. They talk about what the product is. Like what this is, Bob and Mary, is it's a 20-year term. It's $150,000 in coverage. You get your money back. I mean, how the heck does that motivate anybody, right? So when you talk about just what it is, and it's just surface, it doesn't move anybody, right? When you talk about just surface stuff, it leads a client to comparison. If you're just talking about what it is, they'll start comparing. Well, I think my neighbor said he got it for X amount in $80 a month. They start thinking about measuring it to other things because it's just what it is. It's surface. It doesn't motivate. It doesn't move. It negates the purpose. It negates the value. And so that's the big miss. What you want to be great at, and you can suck at everything else, but be great at building the why, the value proposition. You do that through the financial inventory, going through all those questions diligently, because that paints the picture of what their situation looks like. And then when you come in and you talk about what the product does for them, and you go in depth about this is going to make sure if you die tomorrow, it's going to pay off your house. And what that's going to do for you is, Mary, you're not going to have to worry while you're going through that emotional, loss and how do I get by and what does that look like. You don't have to think about how do I still keep a roof over my kid's head. You don't have to go tell the kids daddy's not coming home and to figure out how you're going to financially support them. Like they're going to be okay. They're going to be all right. And also at the end of this plan, you get 100% of your money back. So you're able to get that money back to the $45,000. You can take that to pay the house off 5 years early. That's going to save you like $10,000, $15,000 in interest. That'd be working against you. And then you can walk into retirement with a better financial blueprint because you forced yourself to save. You went from an expense to an asset while providing your family and yourself the most peace of mind you could ever have, which is protection for your loved ones. And so that's what it does, right? And so when you talk about what it does, it builds up the value. It strengthens the what you're doing. It increases and magnifies the benefits that are going to come to them. There's a big book that's got a lot of little books in it. And the little book that in my opinion illustrates this really well, the importance of it, is the book of Ezra. And you've got the Israelites are now going back to Jerusalem. They can rebuild this temple, and you've got, as they lay the foundation, you have two different perspectives of the Israelites. One perspective leads them to joy. Like they start, they're just joyous, screams, and they're just excited. They're overjoyed with the fact that there's a new beginning and a foundation. They're looking at what it's going to do. This is going to bring, God back into the Israelites. They can now go worship Him. They can see Him. They can focus more on Him. They can stop being so distracted with the world. All these things, and then you've got the other group of Israelites where they're mourning, like they cried out, like in depression, like oh my, mourning, crying, weeping. And what they were weeping is because they were looking at what it is. It was just the foundation to a temple. And they were comparing that foundation to what the foundation was originally with what Solomon built. And so, and in that comparison, it didn't measure up to the prior one. And so they wept. They cried. So you got one group where they're celebrating, they're joyous, and you got this other group of Israelites where they're mourning, they're weeping. And it was the same thing, the foundation, that's what it was, but one group looked and focused on what it was, right? And that caused them to measure it, compare it, and have a depressed feeling and emotion that was expressed through their cries and tears. The other group looked at what it did, like what this was. This is what it's going to do for us. This is what's going to allow us to focus more, press more into God. And this is a stepping stone, a new beginning. So they saw what it was going to do for them. And it's the same thing. You know, you guys talk about what it does for the client, and that'll get you a completely different emotion. Second thing real quick is assumptiveness. So the why, the value, driving depth in that, spending time in that, asking questions like what is it going to look like when you pass away, letting them feel the emotion. So when you introduce what it's going to do, right, that's the solution to this emotional, movie in their mind that they're playing. And then the assumptiveness, right? The assumptiveness is this: people want to be told what to do. When I go to the doctor, I don't want him to say, what do you think? You think you should take this one or this one? I'm like, dude, what I think is you're the dang doctor. You went to school and got a degree. I think it's weird that you're asking me is what I think. Can you just tell me what to do? I want that. And now, when you're sitting with the client, this should help you with assumptiveness. If you're not assumptive, in your mind, you think that the commission check you're making, like what you get from it, might be because you need the commission check desperately, and a lot of times that's more magnified when you're in a survival mode trying to pay bills, getting started. But you're focused on what it is for you, that you think it's more beneficial for you than it is for them. And that'll lead you to a lack of assumptiveness, really just a bad attitude as far as the behavior that's expressed to the client, the way you hold yourself because of the weird thinking you got in your head. So you've got to realize that what they're getting is so much bigger than what you're getting. It so far supersedes the benefit of your little paycheck, because when they die, this is what this is going to do for them. And so therefore, you can be the doctor, they can be the patient. Just like when you go see a doctor, they don't say thank you, you say thank you to them. Why is that? Well, it's because you feel like your health and what you're getting from that doctor, it far supersedes what paycheck he's getting. You don't even think about that. And so that's how you got to hold yourself in the house. So when you get to the end, you got to be assumptive. Like, Bob, Mary, this is what we're going to do. You got to go through that. This is the process. And then when you go to the close, you're assumptive. Like, hey, we can't make a decision today because we don't know if you're going to qualify. But if you were to qualify, which one would make the most sense based on budget and protection for your family? Okay, that one, great. Go ahead and grab a driver's license. We'll see if we're going to get you qualified. Nah, do you want to start the application now? What do you think? Should we start filling it out? No, you don't do none of that. You say, go grab a driver's license. You're assumptive. People want to be in business. They want to do business with people that are assumptive. They're confident. They're giving them direction. They're laying out the path of what's going to take place, the expectation. And then they assume it all along that each step that this is, hey, go do this, go do that. I need you to get your policy out. Go grab that. So be assumptive, build a why. And these two massive points right here, I promise you, will increase your close ratio through the roof. So guys, hope that makes sense. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Take care.